Hello, ladies, and welcome back to another podcast. In this particular podcast, I am going to be revisiting one of my old video topics that I had on my original channel. This particular video talked about vetting rich or wealthy men or well to do men. Now, in this particular video, I dove into the subject of vetting men, even if they have money, even if they have great careers, even if they are wealthy enough to support the type of lifestyle that you want. In this particular video, I talked about especially also mothers dating wealthy men as well. This particular subject that I brought up was the fact that even though he's wealthy, even though he has money, he should not be removed from the vetting process that you would do for any other man. You would vet a man who's not making six figures a certain way. So, a man who is making that amount of money should not be removed from that same process. That video gave me a lot of pushback from a lot of black women in the femininity movement and the level up movement. And basically, I was told that I was preventing black women from trying to better themselves. I was trying to send out a fear-mongering tactic message to prevent black women from attempting to date men with money, which is not true. But I talked about the subject of, looking into these men's past, doing background checks, all of those things. I mean, men with money can also be predators. Men with money can be pedophiles. Men with money can be verbally and physically abusive, just like any other man. So I find it very funny, once again, my same talking points that I tried to bring to light on my old channel. Now all of a sudden it's like this era of common sense is starting to come among the femininity community. Now all of a sudden, you should, use common sense when trying to date men with money. You should vet them the same way you would vet a man who's broke. You should do this, you should do that. I just find it very funny that now all of a sudden it's like common sense is a requirement of being feminine. I think it's really crazy at this point. But back to the subject at hand, my old video that I had on my original channel, I talked to you ladies, especially the ladies who have children. You should not allow your guard to be down just because this man is wealthy or just because, this man can support you financially. You should not allow yourself as a woman to let your guard down. You should not bring this man too fast around your children. You should not just assume that he has a squeaky clean background and choose not to look him up or Google him or do background work. But when I stated all of these things on my first channel, I got so many hateful comments, unfortunately, in the comment section, and saying that I was a mammy and saying that, I'm just trying to fear monger black women into staying into poverty and not dating men with money. But again, you have to understand the type of world that we live in today. You cannot put anything past anybody. I don't care if he's a doctor. I don't care if he's an engineer. I don't care if he is related to Bill Gates and has a lot of money. You cannot put anything past anybody in this day and age with these men. And it's not about fear mongering. It's not about using tactics to keep you in poverty. It's not about using tactics to not put a range on your dating pool, but it's about you using common sense as a grown woman. It's about you using your critical thinking skills as a woman to vet all men. That's the entire point. And a lot of these channels are pushing that all of these men are just one prototype or just one certain type of way. And that is not true. These same men, they are capable of doing crimes. They are capable of being criminals as well. And then with them having more money, it's a possibility that they are also more capable of doing fraudulent things with money and taxes and things like that. You never know. That is my entire point. So I wanted to revisit that particular subject that I did on my old channel, because now I'm starting to see that for some odd reason it's okay to have common sense and be feminine at the same time. Like, now all of a sudden it's okay to vet men on the same playing field, just like you would vet in just any type of man, period. Now all of a sudden I'm starting to see more content that is becoming more tactful with common sense and thinking more and being feminine as well. I wanted to revisit that subject because I wanted this video to be a reminder of that video that I did on my first channel. You know, if you have children as a woman, it doesn't matter if he has money. I mean, if he's a predator, he's a predator. He could be just like a broke man could be seeking you out to get access to your kids. Well, a wealthy man can do the exact same thing. A man is a man, and you have to vet men on the same playing field. It should not matter if he has money, because just a year ago, 2 years ago, a lot of you all on these femininity channels, you were giving men passes just because they had money. A lot of you were okay with watering down your vetting process just because the man is wealthy, or just because this man can support the type of luxury lifestyle that you want. You didn't care about, the safety of your children, because I even dove deeper into the subject of protecting your children, your young daughters, when you're attempting to date any man. And especially, you're dating men, you're opening up your range, which is a great thing. Yes, don't date bums. But a lot of you were really triggered when I talked more in depth about protecting your young daughters when it comes to vetting men. So many women in this hypergamy and femininity movement was triggered by that video. And you know what? That should tell you a lot about these type of women who are on these YouTube videos and who are watching this type of content about dating wealthy men. Because if you're not willing to listen to a message about protecting your daughters, and vetting and allowing this man to go through the same vetting process as any other man, it says a lot about you as a woman. To me, a lot of women in the hypergamy movement and femininity movement, they really have shown their true colors and how dark they truly are for the past 2 years. Because for the life of me, to this very day, I don't understand how so many black women can sit online and be angry and triggered about a video protecting their young black daughters from all men. And it shouldn't matter if he has money. So the very fact that I said, even though you're dating these men with money, you need to be doing background checks on them. You need to be vetting them the same exact way. You need to be Googling them. You need to be scoping them out. It shouldn't matter if they have money. Do you know how many black women were angry at that when I said that? Do you know how many black women in these spaces were upset that I said that they should put their black daughters first and make sure that they put the protection of their black daughters first over any rich man? The fact that I said that just because he has money does not mean you should let your guard down, especially when it comes to your children. If you are a mother that is dating out hypergamously and you are dating rich men, you should still put your motherhood first and vet these men for the protection of your daughters and your children, period. Well, I got called a mammy for that. So it just really shows me that, in some of these particular spaces, getting the bag is more important than anything. If a lot of you even have to sacrifice the protection and safety of your young black daughters to be in the bed of a wealthy man that could possibly be a pedophile because you didn't do the research, it's perfectly fine with you. And you know what? If that's fine with you, then you have to live with that. You have to live with that, because a lot of black women online have been brainwashed that getting the bag is everything. Getting the Gucci bag is everything. So again, if that Gucci bag or if that Chanel bag or that Louis Vuitton bag is worth more than the protection of your black daughter, because you're letting your guard down just because a man is wealthy and you have no idea the type of thoughts or background he may have criminally, then that's something that you have to live with, because that's being hypergamous, right? Hypergamy over everything, getting the bag over everything, the bag, the bag, the bag. Any tactic that you have to use, hey, that's something that you're going to have to live with. But that is the particular message that I talked about on my first channel. It's just overall, still vet wealthy men, vet men who have money. It should not matter, especially if you have children. Your motherhood should always come first. But I understand that, in some of these particular spaces, maybe the bag is just the bag is the end goal. So whatever it is that you have to do, if that means putting your daughter on the back burner because this man is wealthy and he can pay for your lifestyle, maybe you're okay with, just turning your head or pretending like you didn't just see him, staring at your 13-year-old daughter's chest every now and then. Because, hey, you're getting the bag and you're living that luxury lifestyle and you get a new Gucci bag every month. So I just wanted to revisit that topic from my old channel, and I wanted to retouch on that video that I made. Ladies, please remember, it should not matter if you're dating wealthy men. You hold them to the same accord. You hold them to the same accountability. Google him, ask questions, because at the end of the day, men are men. You should hold every single man to the same accord as far as the vetting process. And again, especially if you have children, because you don't want to let your guard down and allow this man around your kids because, oh my God, he's wealthy and you're floored by the money and everything like that. Your motherhood should always come first. And I understand that's triggering to hear to a lot of black women, and I'm sorry about that, especially in these kind of spaces, because I know that the bag is more important to you than anything in this world. But please just take that into consideration, and I will talk to you another podcast. Bye-bye.